Welcome back, dear viewers, and to know more about the tourism sector and the most attractive destinations for tourists in Egypt, I'm delighted to interview Dr. Adel Hamza, the tourism expert, over the phone. Good morning, Dr. Adel.
Good morning.
First of all, I'm really delighted to interview you in the breakfast show. And to start with you, what are the mainly most attractive destinations that tourists fit into their programs, especially that we are now in the Christmas season?
Good morning, first of all, and I'm actually very happy to be with you this morning. The celebrations for the Christmas and the New Year in all over Egypt, actually, no special destination. You know, the occupancy of the hotels in Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh and Cairo is nearly 100%.
100%?
Yeah, in Sharm el-Sheikh recorded last Wednesday, recorded 100%.
Mm-hmm. This is great news. Yes.
No, sorry.
This is great news, and also I would like to mention that Google has recently stated that Cairo is one of the most searched destinations in 2024. So how do you comment on this?
This is, of course, very good news for us all, and it's not strange or not abnormal for Egypt. Egypt is something like this from a long time ago. And especially this year, actually, the celebrations of the Christmas and the New Year in Egypt is really different and very creative. You know, in Sharm el-Sheikh, I saw yesterday, I was in Sharm el-Sheikh yesterday, I just came this morning, and I saw a very creative ideas to celebrate the Christmas there. You know, Baba Noel over the camel and over the flyboards in the sea. And the tourists in Sharm el-Sheikh are very, very happy and very, very exciting to see these things in Egypt. You cannot believe that the people in Sharm el-Sheikh, the tourists in Sharm el-Sheikh, they were wearing the Santa Claus clothes, Santa Claus dresses, and waiting on the beaches and waiting in the squares, waiting for Santa to come on the camel. Really, it's really a good idea, and they picturing these scenes, and send them to their children and their friends in Europe, and this is really very good.
I'm glad to hear that the celebrations in Egypt from the tourist side is really fascinating, but also how do you weigh the programs and campaigns launched by the Ministry of Tourism and tour companies to promote tourism, especially that we have recently started to collaborate with influencers and bloggers from all over the world to promote for tourism? How do you think this has helped in in freshening the tourism sector in Egypt?
Yeah, actually, this helps very much, of course. And this year also, I'm seeing that, I'm watching that there are a lot of concerts for Arab singers also in Egypt, and some Arab music celebrations in the Opera House because of this occasion, the New Year and the Christmas. And I saw yesterday like 13 concerts in Egypt in this period, and this is attracting a lot of the Arabs and the Arab families to come to Cairo, for example, to see these concerts and to share in these things. Really, this is promoting the tourism, of course. We didn't expect this number of tourists to come actually this week. Also, the hotels, the 5-star hotels and 4-star hotel in Cairo are really fully booked. One of my friends, they were calling me yesterday saying they don't find a room in Cairo.
Wow.
And they are thinking of, believe me, they are thinking of renting flats to come to Cairo. You know, the flats which is on booking.com and BRP site. The people, they are booking in this flat because they don't have rooms, they don't find rooms in the hotels. This is really good news.
Of course, to this extent, we don't have empty rooms for new tourists, as Egypt now is full of tourists. This is, of course, great news. But also my question to you is, what makes Egypt stand out as a tourist destination compared to other countries, in your point of view? When you ask tourists, what do they answer?
You know, in Egypt, the taste of celebrations in Egypt is really different, and it's different every year from each other year. So the area around us, as you see, it's full of political conflicts, and the people don't find safety and security like the safety and security in Egypt right now.
Yes.
So even in Europe, the people in Europe, they come to celebrate the Christmas in Egypt because of a lot of things. First of all, safety and security, the weather in Egypt, of course, the sun, to enjoy the sun. Also the rates of coming to Egypt. The rates of coming to Egypt is not actually that expensive.
Yes, compared to other countries, of course.
Of course.
Yes. And how also do you think the main challenges that Egypt has faced in becoming the most diverse tourist destination, as we have been facing so many challenges recently, not only the rising tensions around us, but also economic challenges?
With these economic challenges, actually, if you compare the prices and rates of everything, food, with Egypt, with other countries, you don't feel that. You don't feel that there is a problem for the economy. Actually, Egypt is Egypt. People, they enjoy to come to Egypt. They dream to come to Egypt, to see the destinations, which is, dates back to years of years. So I don't think that the economic conflict is not that effect.
Of course.
But I hope that the tourism and the growth of the tourism this year and next year will be really helpful for the economy and for everything in Egypt. We are ending the year, and for the first time we targeted 15 million of tourists, and this is very, very big number and very good number. We are targeting, of course, 25 million next year, but who knows?
Yes, these are huge numbers, but also to benefit from your presence with me, Dr. Adel, I also have to ask you about the Grand Egyptian Museum that the whole world is waiting for its official opening and the announcement of the date of its official opening. How do you think this museum would be a turning point in the tourism sector in Egypt?
That will be the event of 2025. This is going to be a very, very astonishing event in the next year, and of course that will help the tourism in Egypt and the market of tourism in Egypt very, very much, because all over the 20 past years, those tourists all over the world, they are dreaming to see this museum, to go and share in this event. So that will be really the bomb of the next year.
Yes, of course. I think so, and I hope it really makes a huge difference in the tourism sector. But also, my question to you, would you please tell me what are the reactions of tourists when they hear about this Grand Egyptian Museum? What are their expectations about it?
When you find or when you try to find the secrets of something, it's full of exciting.
Of course.
So the people there, they dream to watch this museum and to think, and they forecast what's going to be in this museum, what's going to be the treasures of Tutankhamun and the other kings of Egypt. So all these things, the people all over the world, all over the social media, they are talking about this event, and everyone in the world, children and all the ages, they are thinking of what's going to be in this museum. So this is only, or this is just, this thinking of the museum is very great thing for Egypt, because everyone wants to come. So I'm expecting next year, inshallah, it's going to be the year of tourism of Egypt, a historical season in Egypt next year.
Yes. Yes, of course, Dr. Adel, you have followed the European and historical tour that the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has held recently in Denmark, Ireland, and Norway, and he has invited these three countries' leaders to come and attend the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. How do you think the attendance of world leaders to this event would be also important?
That's going to be the best of promotion for this event, to call or to invite the leaders of these countries to come to this museum and to share in the opening of this museum. This is first of all a great idea from the political
government,
in charge person in Egypt.
Yes.
And this is for the first time to find something like this, that the president of Egypt is promoting for a social or for something in Egypt going to happen. And this is not an easy thing. This is not a simple thing. This is the Grand Egyptian Museum. So that's going to be a very, very historical event.
Yes, of course. And since we're talking about tourism and the museums, how do you comment on the exerted efforts by the Egyptian government in returning back monuments and our legacy that was looted outside the country in illegal ways? How do you comment on these efforts?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
How do you comment on the efforts exerted by the Egyptian government when we returned back the monuments that were illegally looted outside the country? We have returned them back, many of them. So how do you comment on these efforts in this regard?
This is very good step actually from the government and the authorities in Egypt, and this is very late for 50 years. Mm-hmm. This actually effort is very late for 50 years or more, because to think about this, to think about retaining all our monuments and treasures from outside, to get our rights from outside, this is really appreciated thing from the authorities in Egypt to do this. And we're waiting this step for a long time. And this will, of course, promote the tourism in Egypt, and the people will see more of the treasures in Egypt.
Yes.
The land which belongs to these treasures.
Yes, of course. And what about the new discoveries in the tourism sector? How do you think these new discoveries are adding and telling more stories about our legacy and ancient Egyptians to tourists, and how is it helping in boosting more the tourism sector in Egypt?
Frankly, I'm telling you something that the last 100 years, every day, every year, we are discovering new discoveries in Egypt. And this will continue, by the way, because the secrets of the Egyptian civilization has no end. Every day we are excavating, every day we are digging, we're finding new things. We find new secrets, we find new ideas the people of the pharaonic people they were thinking of. So this is not going to end actually. Every day we are discovering things, these things will make Egypt always the best destination for tourism in the world.
Yes, of course. And Dr. Adel, how do you think Egypt's participation in global exhibitions and events could also help in getting the audience outside Egypt to get introduced to the Egyptian civilization?
This is, of course, a very good tool. The tourism, the Ministry of Tourism, they are using actually to promote the tourism in Egypt every year. But actually, really, we need to think more, with more ideas also in this exhibition. We want to use this exhibition in another views, because the technology and the advance in technology all over the world right now needs us to make new generations to think about these exhibitions and to offer their ideas. And I think the Ministry of Tourism, they are doing this right now.
Of course, of course. Dr. Adel Hamza, the tourism expert, I would like to thank you so much for being here with me in the Breakfast Show over the phone, of course. I could go on for hours. I really enjoyed this interview and wanted to know even more details about this, but thank you so much. So, dear viewers, this brings us to the end of this episode of The Breakfast Show. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And finally, I would like to tell you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I wish you a very nice and productive day. Now it's time to say thank you for watching.